They've been transformed after the series of our Halloween spotlights. That is also kind of woven into the main narrative of what's going on, and so we're focusing on the characters. Each of them are getting a mini spotlight here as we discover what they're finding out about themselves or this place that they're in. Ooh, pardon. Ooh, Kane, I got a brownie while we were away. I hope it's really yummy. So thanks again to Fiara, Von Holtz, Orsk Winterhelm, and Insane Scorpion. Also, decent games. I saw you. I saw you in here. We're doing. I hope you're having fun with us. Drinking Buddy, Pony Chick, MH Bones as well. So, and Doc Rude, I saw you in here too. And for everyone else, howdy out there. I hope that you are rested, you're comfortable, and you did what needed doing. As we come back here to the blasted city of Oiho. Mordecai is out on the fringe somewhere at or returning from Trine Circus. We have Flame Skull Bright, who has sort of ensconced herself in almost a literal sense as the head of the residents here of the city. She's ingratiated herself in different ways. Bright's body has been out doing things, visiting merchants, apparently obtaining some very expensive things that have left the merchants somewhat grumpy. And we have totally not Casimir, it's Casimir, that's been going rooftop to rooftop, hunting, stalking, and has caused a fright in the people as he's been leaving bloodless husks behind. Now, in the meta, we know this. The characters might have a hunch, but may not have confirmation just yet. However, we are going to be focusing on our... You know, Professor, I don't know if you were ever called Four Eyes in school, but you shown them all because now you're Five Eyes. And so you are superior. But
yes,
yeah.
now I have 5 of them.
You had been visited by glimpses of a great many things as you were dragged through this twisted hallway, which seemed to extend off from this library room that you were studying in. Of course you were arrested, but then things happened. You saw this kind of orange-skinned tiefling schoolmarm talking to a young tiefling child dressed in Shadowhar regalia. They were doing something. They were reciting something, and little bit by little bit, before you pried yourself out of this incantation, you bore witness to a great many things and found yourself now without arms or legs, but in their place you have 4 eye stalks. And then you have a large central eye and a mouth with which you can speak words. But you're free from there, and you are... oh, you know what? Did I put that away? Yeah, I put it away. Anyway, you can come out to the hotel lobby, and the person behind the counter doesn't say anything or treat you any differently than when you first walked in.
My friend, did you see a tiefling walk out of here? Bright blue.
Bright blue. Oh, the one that wanted the very elaborate room.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that he was waiting for some people. Or rather, people were waiting for him. Not quite sure what happened there.
Did you see which way he went?
Yeah, through the doors.
Right. Thank you. And we're gonna head out and see if we can't find some Mordecai by floating up and taking a look.
Sure. Okay, so you find yourself back out. Well, these tokens aren't here. Boop and boop. Okay. But yeah, these you're back out on the upper streets of Oiho here. You emerge, you float out the door, and when you do, there's someone who's walking past and goes, "I'm sorry, I almost ran into you. Are you okay?" And just continues to walk past. Not apparently startled at your appearance, but more concerned that they almost ran into you walking out of the hotel.
It is fine. My. Well, I suppose it is hell, as it were. Well, time to get to work. And I'm gonna float up and start looking for Mordecai.
Boop, boop, boop. Whoops. Okay, so you want to spend time going around the city looking for Mordecai.
Yes.
Okay. Time passes. As it does, lightning continues to streak in the kind of the one direction it goes in. There's the fireballs that are raining down, but not necessarily on the city. You're getting an appreciation for the architecture, which, now that you're looking at the architecture here, it looks really familiar to the glimpses that you saw back when you were in the twisted hallway. There are definitely differences, but there's a core architectural principle or aesthetic to the buildings here that remind you of the ones that you saw in your flashbacks.
The Shadaha buildings.
Yes.
The same ones I would have seen in books and in paintings of the city. Well, I suppose that's going to be interesting. I get to tell Mordecai that I saw a glimpse of the Child Emperor. And because that is the only person that could possibly be. And someone who looked very similar to Miss Mercury.
Very much so.
Orange tieflings are a rarity. Let us go and find Mordecai to share with him these things.
Okay. So yeah, you are floating up, and boy, Professor, I'll tell you what, make an observation at advantage.
I mean, I get advantage anyway, so...
Yeah. With a 21, you are floating, and you are... I mean, you see things, but you also see into things, too. Not quite like a mind read spell or the like, but, you just have this ability to just super perceive the people and the things around you. You're making out details with very little effort, perhaps even none. You can notice a pattern in brickwork. You can see subtle details about a person. You could probably see that they have 10 freckles on one cheek and 9 on the other as you're just passing by. Because your eyes are just everywhere and you're able to take in all this information simultaneously. You do not see Mordecai as you are floating about the city. People, you're noticed, but not in a way that's inherently negative. And
just like
and the baby faces will pass by and just kind of shrug and keep walking. They don't bother to test you.
Well, I do look like something out of a horror novel.
But
Where
yeah,
could he have
you're
gotten
hanging in
off
the sky.
to?
People are living their lives, eating, drinking, walking, working, doing all kinds of things.
Yes. I don't see Mordecai anywhere. What about the other two?
Okay, you want
Do
to
I
turn your
see?
attention? Which one?
I will look for Bright first.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and go ahead and make another perception.
23.
Okay. Um, more time passes as you are hovering through the city streets, above buildings and across roads, and people just continue to pass by and live their lives. In effect, that this would almost be like for you in the way that you can perceive. This would be like what's the term for like when you're driving on the highway for a very long time and then you actually stop. It feels like it's slowed down, like acceleration something. Or you play vampire. If you use celerity too much, everything else seems like, even though it's
In slow
normal,
motion.
it seems slow to you. So you're taking in a lot of things, and people are passing by. You're observing it, and you can process it. But if we were to step outside of you in this sort of third-party camera, the city is just, it's going on. It's people are living their lives. They're passing by. If there was a day-night cycle, presumably they would even be passing as you are just observing. You are just this presence that's always watching, always taking in information. And yes, you can finally focus your attention more singularly as you see Bright on the street. Pink dress, pink hair, and everything. And it looks like she is being questioned or stopped by two of these golden baby-faced guards.
I think I might go down and see what's going on.
Sure. All right. You go down, and as you do, she reaches out and maybe touches one of them, or at least is a short distance away. Holds her hand out. The entire suit of armor kind of swells for a second, and then steam or smoke starts pouring out from the joints as the thing collapses.
That's not something I've seen Bright do before.
The other one levels its spear at her. We're in kind of a loose initiative if you want to do something, or you can continue watching.
Yeah, no, I'm going to come down. You there, Bright. What are you doing?
Running away. She holds out her hand, and that same kind of like a distension, like you can even hear the metal like groan from the pressure inside before it gets like released through the joints, and the thing just falls down. They were gonna try and stop me. You're not gonna try and stop me, are you?
That depends.
All right. Well, if you're gonna try and
Oh.
stop me, and she misty steps onto a roof. If you're gonna try and stop me, then you better do it now because you're not doing a good job of it. And she boop 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 starts running across the roof.
I'm gonna fly after her and fire 2 eye rays. I
Okay.
gotta randomize them, and I gotta hope to God that I get a paralyzation ray. I do not. Alright, let's resolve this first one first. Can I first get a Constitution saving throw, please?
Mm-hmm. Um. That is not going to be the 8. It will end up being an 18.
Then you'll take half of this.
Okay.
That'll be 13 going to 6 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then I need a wisdom saving throw follow-up.
That is the 21.
That will save. That will save. Alright, ooh. Looks like I'm gonna have to do some damage to your body. Sorry, Bright.
Okay.
I'm still gonna be chasing after.
Yeah. I don't know what you are, what you want, but you're chasing after the wrong one. And I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Happily. Wow!
That's an
Or
11.
not.
Oh. What, was there something in addition to that, or was that an 11?
No, that's all. That's a natural 1.
Okay.
I have a plus 10 in it. That's why I was like, oh yeah, make a charisma save. Happily make a charisma save.
You...
Roll the 1.
Oh, you're going to get me to... Where is this? What was this? The...
Uh-oh.
Something glimmers for a moment, and you find yourself... you find yourself kind of locked
Yay.
in a hallway.
Well,
And you're going to be in here for a minute.
I may as well take a perception check and have a look at my surroundings.
Sure. Yeah, this is,
It's a 19.
this is a familiar hall. It doesn't have the books or the papers or the things that you remember. And, it is... The doors at both ends appear to be shut. And even just like doors in appearance only, as there's really no... It's a twisted tunnel that always keeps you upright no matter how you float. But yeah, it's sealed at both ends.
This doesn't seem like... I'm gonna go back over what Bright said to me. You're chasing after the wrong one.
Yep.
Why would Bright say that? I kind of want to ruminate on that statement a little bit.
Well, you have a minute before you pop back.
And the Bright's gone.
Bright is
because I got
gone,
banished.
but you reappear right exactly where you were banished from.
Well, that is the thing that I've seen Bright do before. Pain in the ass.
See, so that was Bright.
Yes, although... also not. Well, she could have gone anywhere now. And Mordecai still hasn't shown up, wherever he has gotten off to. Well, I suppose there's only one thing left to do. I suppose I will go and find Casimir. At the very least, his tracking prowess might help me track down the others.
Okay. Well, and you are someone who can look out for a great many others, and the inexorable search of our spectating professor continues. Go ahead and make a perception. Advantage, of course.
And it is an advantage. Liar's Eye is really good. 24.
Yeah. So once more, people are... In fact, you even notice, well, it felt like a minute in... I don't know, just some things, when you reappear, just appear to be different. Not majorly. It's not like a big tower was constructed in the way that from when you were last there, but just because you can notice... Yeah, a lot of things have passed in your time being banished, because you can notice a lot of these details. And you're continuing your search. The city goes on. The city seems to go on underneath you and around you. No one is really out there to harm you. People are like, "Oh, what's that?" But it's more out of curiosity. You've probably never fit in any better in your life, Professor, than actually being here in this form. And so you're actually even getting the feeling from people like you've been spotted elsewhere, and you're kind of like this. I don't know. You're like a little local legend or mascot, sort of like something to be seen and appreciated, like some sort of like migratory bird or something. Yeah, for once a big tower hasn't been constructed. But yeah, so unless you start swooping on people like a magpie, I think you're going to be in good graces. But you do find, as you're doing this, there is... You have gotten this kind of following, being on the lookout. You have also witnessed, I mean, you've witnessed things, I guess, that would be considered to be mundane crime. You've seen some of these red things that have robbed people. You've seen some street fights. You saw something that was on fire that it actually wasn't meant to be on fire, which, you know, could be a big deal if you're not expecting it. Now, you haven't seen Casimir, at least not yet, but as you're witnessing all of this going on around you, do you choose to intervene in any of it? Or do you just simply wish to stay singularly focused on Casimir?
I'll be watching for other things too. I have multiple eyes. I can multitask.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, you see these things, but do you want to actually do anything about street crime, or, oh, my baby, or, oh, my cart of cabbages, or anything along those lines? Or are you just simply a watcher?
Unless there's something particularly grave. Like, petty crime is petty crime, but if there is something particularly grave that goes on, I may intervene.
Okay. Yeah, it's a city living its life. The people seem to be, at this point, maybe even a little less stressed. You're not noticing people always looking over their shoulder. There is still some crime here. And you get this kind of, in my narrative to you, your point of view or the kind of attitude that you can take would almost be like this first person exposition of like a noir detective. You know, that you're at the on the 12th floor of a tall building, looking out over the city, thinking to yourself, "Oh, the city. You know, it's expansive. It's filled with, you know." And then you can have all the different, you know, the things that you've observed, the good and the bad and the indifferent, because you're processing this information at such a quantity and accelerated rate, but you're comprehending it in that way that you can almost just be exposition in kind of a noir comic book style, because you are seeing this. You know, you float by and one of your eye stalks looks into a window and yep, there's those two things still going at it, doing whatever makes them happy. Yeah, and at the same time, someone just got shanked in an alleyway, and oh, hi. Well, you scared me, bud. All right, well, y'all get cat butt. He wanted a hug. So you get to see all this, and yeah, the people here are unlike things that you've seen before, but in many ways they're living their lives, and there is a sense of normalcy, even if normal isn't what you're used to normal being.
The normal is different, but normal is normal.
Yeah.
It's normal for these people.
And now that you're... Oh, go ahead.
But the entertainment is where the abnormalities lie.
In what sense?
Well, in every sense.
Oh, in terms of what brings them happiness, or...
Well, in terms of what also makes the most interesting of stories. It's always the abnormal things that bring the most interest. And as such, as I exposit to myself in the 1930s noir style, I will be looking for abnormalities.
Ah, yes. Now that you are aware of normalcy, you can look for what is abnormal.
Oh, exactly right.
Go ahead and make an investigation at advantage.
17.
Ooh, haha. Good thing it's not that red number. Boy, so many ones tonight. This is
Roll 20.
Yeah.
Look, roll 20. Roll 20. You were being nice to me yesterday.
You eventually come across a scene where there is a it sounds like there is a struggle taking place in an alleyway, and there are flashes of the street lights, such as they exist here, or even that kind of constant eerie orange-gray sky, streaks of lightning. You can even see like a fireball going across the sky that's reflected off the silvery skin of someone that looks like it's on all fours and eating someone else. Now, people here have different dining preferences and eat a lot of different things, though you've noticed they don't tend to eat each other. This would be an abnormality.
Let's investigate this.
Okay, you turn and you're floating down the alleyway. The person underneath this silver creature is twitching and then finally grows still. Are you saying or doing anything, or are you just simply watching still?
I will attempt to contact this creature via telepathy, as I have telepathy to 120 feet now? 120, 200 feet? 120 feet.
Okay. Can they reply back, or can only you talk?
They
it's
can,
a one-way.
I believe they can reply back.
Some telepathy is kind of a one-way, you know. It can work in different ways.
Yep. Give me a second. Just have a look. telepathy. Telepathy, blah 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 blah, creature without... Okay, yeah, a creature without telepathy can receive and respond to telepathic messages, but can't initiate or terminate a telepathic conversation.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, they can be a response.
What would you like to say then, directly into this creature's mind?
Are you alright there? It's not regular for one to be eating the flesh of another.
Never better.
Do I recognize that voice?
Yeah. This is definitely a Sand Elf accent of Casimir. Though this creature looks nothing like Casimir. Looks almost like a warped silver dragonborn. I mean, there's elements of a dragonborn, but looks a lot more dragony. Like, more fierce and less human.
Is that you, Casimir?
Yes, and you must be Professor. I can tell from the sound of your voice in my mind.
Yes, I gained the ability to telepathically communicate with things. And see everything.
What happened to you?
Well, I, went back into my room to get some things, and I, saw some rather interesting information from a rather interesting book.
Then be quick with it. I don't read books.
Well, as I was reading it, I received visions of Shadahar, of the capital of the Empire, and specifically of someone who I could only believe to be the child emperor of the Shadahar Empire, and a tutor, an orange tiefling tutor.
What about it?
There's only orange tieflings are a rather rare occurrence, and I'm only aware of one orange tiefling.
No, are you talking about the boss of the city?
Yes, I am. Seems like before they came here, they were Shadahari.
I don't know if that's relevant.
Well, what it says is that she's been hiding quite a large number of secrets, and maybe we should go and petition her for answers.
I don't think that is going to do what I needed to do. Secrets don't interest me. Power interests me. Skill and strength interest me.
Well, I'm sure she's not going to be willing to give up those secrets without a fight.
If I come across her and she's worth a fight, I will fight her. Otherwise, I've been keeping busy. This part of the city has been falling under my control. I've been cleaning it up, keeping it free from those red bastards. And a lot of corrupt merchants.
Yes, well, it is hell. So I would not be surprised that corrupt merchants would make a living down here. But that does remind me, have you seen either Bright or Mordecai? I swore I saw Bright earlier, but she banished me.
Bright. The pink one. Yes, I remember now. It's been so long. I've seen Bright here and there. Going in. From what I understand, she rips off merchants. Not that I care. Lets me know what's in their heart before I eat them. In a way, she's been helping me.
You said you've been here for a little while. How long? Do you know?
No. I cannot tell you how many days or moons. All I know is I've been here, hunting, and people have grown to fear me and my strength. In fact, I don't know about this person you speak of, but you could perhaps help me. You see, Professor, I believe I'm at the point now. I believe I'm at the point where I want to go to the pit and fight. That is the only place that offers challenge for me anymore.
You wish to go to the pit. I'm sure that I would be able to get you into such a place, but first, I need your assistance. Your senses are as keen as ever, after all.
Speak. No time for riddles, only action.
I am looking for Mordecai.
Mordecai. Blue boy, yes. From what I've heard, I believe he went out to circus. There were some rumors of a good performance and someone that would match him.
Right. Then, I shall go and retrieve him, and I will meet you in front of the pit.
I'll meet you inside the pit. I know how to get there.
Well, if that is what you wish, Casimir.
Are you going to start to float away?
Yeah.
Okay. Make another perception as you're making some distance.
19. Wow.
But almost another red number. All the red tonight. You hear...
Lie as I, saving my butt. Just...
You hear behind you, Mordecai scream out, "Abby! Come get me!" And just this weird distortion sound. And as you continue to float away, just the sounds of, like, struggle and tearing. But you continue to float and observe as you do.
Yes, Casimir's change is quite disturbing.
Yeah, looks like in a more advanced form of what you saw before you took a nap. Yeah.
And it seems like it's changed his mind too.
Yeah, hyper aggressive. And very much into the thrill of the hunt.
Yes. Not akin to the animal, not so unlike the animals that he used to hunt across the Aslandian desert.
Mm-hmm.
I found Bright, but she banished me. I found Casimir, but he's gone off the rails. So Mordecai is left. That's who I'm looking for.
Yes,
Blue boy, where are you?
Well, I'm happy to tell you that in all three accounts you have failed successfully. I mean, you found them. Mordecai will be rather easy to find here.
Now that I know which way to look.
Yeah.
In which direction he might be entering the city.
So these are out and about somewhere. You've made a circuitous route around the city in however much time it's taken you. And you bloop 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 over the wall. You go back down. You can float above the lava such that you don't have to worry about that. And you continue floating along over the course of over the course of this space, over this blasted hellscape. Fortunately for you, you have such an eye for detail. It's an intrinsic part of you, that while you don't really have pockets or this map, as you observe the landscape moving forward, you are realizing the landscape. And so you don't become lost in that kind of infinite badlands that you were caught in before. You are so hyper aware that you are fixing things in reality before you as you make your way out to this determined location. And wouldn't you know, out in the actually I could probably even, oh, that's the so here we go. You are back. You're in this Badlands area, in between, and we have a figure walking ahead. Now, Mordecai, you are a very perceptive boy. And it would seem that there's a... I don't know if you want to be green, Professor. I'll leave that up to you. But there is a five-eyed creature that is peering ahead of you and is floating towards you.
I'm not sure that I like that. I'm just kind of standing ready,
Okay.
watching as it comes towards me.
Sure. Are you holding a spell in case something happens?
Well, yeah, more probably a cantrip, probably in the event that it looks hostile.
It looks weird.
Weird doesn't begin to explain this entire place.
Sure.
So,
What spell do you want to hold on to?
probably a sacred flame.
Okay. Kind of reaching for that necklace once more, kind of... Okay.
Not sure why I'm doing it.
And
Kind of a good
as
reaction.
I reach within 120 feet of Mordecai, you would hear a voice inside your head. A familiar voice. Ah, Mordecai, there you are.
What? Professor?
Yes, a great many things has happened.
What? How?
Don't ask, I don't
You're
know.
in my head.
Telepathy.
And he starts having a little bit of a flashback of paint the lions, cut the men.
It's like telepathy, a new trait thanks to this new form that I now have.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't
What
like
would you rather be hang out the rather long tongue and speak with the big teeth? Because I could do that if that would make you feel better. You have one of two options, Mordecai. This is the more pleasant one, trust me.
What even happened to you? No,
Don't ask,
this can't be
I
real.
don't know.
This can't be real.
It's exceptionally real, and I can
No.
prove it. I can
No.
prove it.
It can't be real because she's dead.
Who's dead?
I'm seeing dead people.
Well, it is hell.
I didn't half expect to recognize the people that are dead.
Yes, well, this place is just full of surprises. But
I don't believe you.
I can prove that it is me.
And she proved it was her, so you better be damn good at your proof.
Remember that before we went to sleep last night, I said something to you. In the hotel. Whereupon you laid on an extravagant bed of goose down. And I on a pile of books.
I remember going to sleep.
Yes, and then many things happened. I saw you turned back into what it is that you are now. You know, no beating in your chest.
I am dead, right? Am I dead? Am I vampire right now? Okay.
You left the room. I went to grab something, and then a large amount of information came to my attention, which also turned me into this. You apparently left with another group of people. Or at least that's what the hotel clerk says.
Yeah, 2 people.
Yeah, see, I didn't get the number. Instead, I went out and went looking for Bright. I found Bright, who said some very strange things and then proceeded to banish me.
Okay.
And then I found Casimir, who has further mutated and evolved, and is now not unlike the animals he used to hunt. He can talk, but he was hyper-aggressive. I found him eating someone.
Mordecai, as Professor Cypher describes the current state of Casimir, your mind immediately flashes back to Tazray.
It's been a little while
And
since I thought about him.
he said that he would meet us inside the pit, which is probably for the best, considering I honestly have my suspicions on whether the Bright that I saw was actually Bright. The things that she said were exceptionally odd. Not in character.
Bright's been acting weird in general for a long time.
Yes, well, I couldn't know that, now could I? Considering we only met up in Mask of Horns, well, excluding our time in here, all of a month ago.
Right.
So, if you are ready, I can lead you back to Oiho, and we can meet Casimir in the pit. And I can fill you in on some of the things that I saw.
I don't seem to recall how it got out here.
Truly, does it matter? The thing is that you're out here now. We can figure that out later. The thing is, we're currently split up to all hell, and we need to regather ourselves because it is the only way that we are going to achieve our mission. Because we came here, remember, to rescue the investigator and to possibly rescue Miss Mercury. But
Yeah.
there are things there that concern me deeply.
As we're walking now. And so, what about that concerns you?
Well, for the simple fact that first Casimir has seen her. That she is the...
You didn't prove that you're you.
One moment. And I am going to use one of my signature spells to cast Minor Illusion. And behind me create one of the geometric patterns that is basically Cypher's entire motif.
Okay.
That doesn't prove anything.
Alright, fine. If you need more proof. I am gonna cast Eldritch Blast. I'm not gonna target Mordecai with it, I'm just gonna shoot them off into the distance.
Sure.
And they're going to come out as the hyperspheres that they normally do, but they're gonna come out of the eye stalks instead.
Pew pew.
Proof enough?
Proof enough you know its motif.
Alright, well, if you don't believe me, then how about I share with you a moment that I spent in Mask of Horns, whereupon I was trying some of that, the Shadowheart call it protein.
Okay.
In fact, the investigator was there. I am telling you things that only I would know.
In this place, I don't know about that anymore. Because
Alright.
I seem to have been whisked away by someone disguising themselves as my wife.
Alright. Then if that doesn't quench your curiosity, then how about when I told you, when you and I had that private conversation in the room before we went to sleep?
What conversation?
That if you didn't sort out your own mind, that you would die as you lived.
Sort out my own mind for what?
As far as the large number of dead people are concerned that seem to surround you.
I'm not sure I know what you're getting at.
With Celine in specific.
Celine is dead.
Yes, and you've been moping about her non-stop.
I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. She
You're
broke it
wearing
off
a-
with me, remember?
You're wearing her sunburst pendant around your neck.
With this invocation as well, Mordecai, I'd like you to make a religion at advantage, because, you know, you did have this pendant, you were pondering it, you left, and it would be a little bit of a walk. You do remember you have her book as well. And so your nose has been in her book for a while as you've been wandering the wastes. Not sure how much time has passed or how many miles, but you've definitely been able to get some reading time in.
Yeah, why do I have this? She wouldn't have parted with this for anything. Religion at advantage.
Yep. All right, 19.
Not bad for having a terrible modifier.
Not bad. Yeah, she's, you haven't necessarily plumbed any sort of secrets from it, but you are getting, I guess, a basic knowledge of the fundamentals that she was trying to study. I mean, kind of creepy. She's pretty good at drawing anatomy. Um, you know, looking into this religion kind of reminds you of your childhood when your parents would take you to, to the ossuary in your hometown for services. But those are years seemingly very long past now. And but yeah, you do have her red leather book with that symbol of Ouijas on it. You have her necklace as well. The things that this creature are talking about are kind of weird, but I mean, you have her stuff. Not that you remember mourning her. You do know she's dead.
Why would she give me these things if she didn't want to be with me anymore? Why do I have these? These are hers.
Cypher narrows all 5 of his eyes. I would like to make an insight check.
Sure.
There is something wrong here, very obviously.
Yeah.
Here. From my pre-established paradigm to Mordecai. No, this is an insight at advantage thanks to Liar's Eye.
What?
And he's not lying, he believes this.
He does believe it.
Yeah, this is... He's honestly baffled at what you're describing, Professor. There doesn't seem to be any dupery. You know, he's not trying to give you the runaround. Also, his suspicion of you is genuine, too, because it seems like he's been... You're getting the strong vibe that he's just been through some really suspicious
He's been mentally
stuff.
bamboozled.
Yeah, he's been really bamboozled. Like, you're trying to offer him this, but everything that you're encountering is met defensively, or like he's been through a kind of a trauma or a suspicion very recently.
All right.
She would have taken these things to the grave with her.
All right. Mordecai, I do get the feeling that you've been through a lot of mental shenanigans in the past little while.
I don't recall
So,
how I got out here, but that's all I don't remember.
Do you remember who you left the hotel? Who did you leave the hotel with?
Someone who looked like Corinna and someone who looked like Zion.
Now.
That's why I'm suspicious of you. You do realize? The
Yes,
last time
yes,
this
yes.
lady came up and proposed that they were people that I knew.
Yes, I do. I
Came
do
up to me
understand.
and
I
kissed me.
do understand. Now.
It was her.
Tell me about this Zion character.
As you say that quickly, you've been walking and talking, or at least have you been? You can see the city of Oiho ahead of you as you are leaving the barren wastes, and one of the bridges and the city gates lies ahead of you.
This Zion is a red tiefling who was someone I knew in the circus. Knew very closely.
I see.
A bit of a rogue, and
Well, my question to you is this: someone you knew back at the circus. Now, you being in the circus was some time ago, yes?
I was there for 10 years, up until maybe a year ago, year and a half.
Now, you haven't been back to that circus in that time, have you?
No, they're disbanded.
Right. So, I'm going to pose to you a question. Had Zion passed on before you left?
Not that I'm aware. He took off before I did.
Right.
Mordecai,
So,
real quick, before you finish, Professor. Though, Professor, it's getting warm for you. Mordecai, your natural resistance to heat is starting to kick in as you're walking across the bridge, and there are two of these golden babyface soldiers at the end of it. Last time you ended up doing a little magical trick to sort of over the bridge, or do you want to keep walking and talking? As well, Professor, do you want to stay low to the bridge, or do you want to try and go over it?
I'll probably hover a little bit higher so that I don't get super burnt.
Okay, and Mordecai?
I mean, I don't want to get hurt, so if we need to move quickly, we need to move quickly.
You can run across for minor damage, or if you wanted to, Misty Step. Or not Misty, Detour. If you want to detour across the bridge, you can.
If the professor's willing, then I'd take him with me.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll detour.
Okay, you reach out, see if the illusion trusts you. Apparently the illusion trusts you. You hold on to... Professor, what is Mordecai holding on to?
He probably got an eye stalk.
Oh, okay. Enjoy that, Mordecai.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
technically that used to be one of my arms.
Right, okay.
And no heat damage as you cross the scalding bridge. You appear right before these two golden baby-faced guards. Identified. Mordecai. You may enter. And they open the gates to you.
Okay.
Proceed. Then turn left. At the intersection.
For what?
You are to meet Lil Hottie.
Oh, honey. I don't know that I know someone like that. Do I know someone like that?
No.
I'm starting to question my own...
You've been expected. Please enter the city. Telepathic in your mind.
And I lead the professor with me.
Sure. All right. You keep holding his eye stalk. How lewd. Okay. All right. You enter the city. You want to continue to walk and talk as you're making your way?
Yeah. I'm really starting to question a lot of things.
This place can tend to do that.
Yeah. The weird part was Corinna.
And it was just those two that you left with.
Yeah, that's all I remember. I'm starting to wonder if that's true or not. I don't trust my own memories anymore. You're not trying to mess with my brain.
No, I cannot do such things.
Because I'm already going crazy. Okay.
Mordecai.
I've already heard voices. I've already gone crazy before.
Yes. And then you go sane again. It's fine. People go through it all the time. But I'm going to tell you this in no uncertain terms. I am not the one who plays with the brain. I'm the gravity man. The one who could probably crush you into a cube. The one who plays with brains is more bright. And given how she is right now, well.
I've questioned about whether she's messed with my memories before.
Yes, well, whilst I cannot give you an answer, either yay or nay about that, it seems like that kind of thing would be in her ballpark. Her very, very large ballpark.
You turn left and you are proceeding down a long set of steps as you continue talking back and forth with each other. And you're back on this next level of the city in the first spiral down. You see, again, what you see here. These weird giants, but they're not very human-y giants. You see a lot of glowy lava. You may continue speaking with each other. No one's harassed you on the street. People are just walking by like nothing's going on.
What's happened to me?
Sure, Mordecai, but it would seem as if
Wouldn't you have been there?
somebody has messed with your mind. In some fashion. Odd. Because before you went to sleep last night, you always looked with a mixture of love and mourning upon that red leather book that you carry. Things that I have observed of you. During our trips hither and thither through the Mask of Horns.
Yeah, we were a thing for a bit, and
Yes, but I mean even after she was interred in the ossuary. A ceremony which I was there for.
I don't quite recall.
Hey, you was that Mordecai guy, huh? A big, really big, almost warthog-faced person with comically small wings and about 8 tusks. A big belly kind of comes waddling down the street, pointing to you. Yeah, you're the blue boy, huh?
Blue is my motif, yes?
I don't care what your motif is, I just know that you're blue. Follow me, I gotta take you to her.
To who?
To the skull! What do you think I was talking about? Ain't you never been here long? She runs the whole joint.
How long was I out?
She's been looking for you, come on. And whatever that thing is with you too, you might as well come along. Looks like you got some eyes to spare, I'm sure she could use them.
Yes, I do so happen to be quite observant. And that's not going to be in telepathy, that's gonna be proper speech. With the long tongue and the teeth.
Yeah, well look at you talking all pretty like. Well, I don't care, come on. And boop, 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 boop. You can continue talking, he's just simply gonna lead you.
It's like, so that particular tiefling I mentioned earlier, who I saw in the visions, also runs this place.
What sort of tiefling is who?
Orange. Don't say it. Orange. know who I'm talking about, yes?
Orange, I think, was with the circus, wasn't she? That's what the big fella there told me.
Yes, no, apparently she runs this whole place, and I also saw her in visions of being in Shadowheart. So, I think she's been around a lot. I think she has secrets that she's not telling.
As in, she runs Oiho.
Correct. At the very least, that's what. At the very least, if I'm not getting my stuff mixed up, that's.
How long have we been here, Professor?
I could not tell you.
I'm losing track.
We all are.
And I think I'm losing my mind.
Oh, Mordecai, Mordecai, Mordecai! Come now! And you would see that the spectator cipher would sling an eye stalk over your shoulder. You lost your mind a long time ago.
You and I have only known each other about a month.
Yes, and what things you have shown me in that month and a half. Like an open book you are.
All right, here you go.
I have more eyes.
Just make her right. She's in the box. I think she's been waiting for you.
Oh no, I did get it wrong. But this is fine.
Hello? I'm not sure what we're doing here.
Well, we shall see, won't we?
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a box ahead of you, and inside of it is a little skull that has pink flames coming off of it.
There is only one being I've ever met who radiates that much pink.
Really? Who was it?
Bright?
Bright?
Yeah, that's probably who it was. Oh, that's also me. Yeah, so, hi. They call me Bright Skull now. You can see why.
Wait, I saw you in the streets
Yeah.
with your actual body, and you banished me.
Yeah, I've got a body snatcher. It's a whole big thing.
Oh, well, that's just wonderful.
Great.
Sarcasm, very much intended.
Yeah, it's not as wonderful as you might think. Actually, I don't really miss the body so much, but I'd really like to have my spellbook back. So, we really need to find them before they ruin it, or lose it, or sell it, or whatever. So, yeah. So, hi. Glad to see you again.
Apparently, she's been ripping off
So-
merchants, so that's what the super mutated Casimir has told me.
What? So, here's the thing. I'm not sure that I know you. Mordecai, I recognize. Mordecai, who's the... I don't even have words.
Claims to be the professor.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Huh. Okay.
So-
So, the
I can prove
professor...
it too. I can prove it too if you would like.
Yeah, that'd be good, actually.
I said I'm gonna a minor illusion up the geometric patterns.
Okay.
Huh. That doesn't prove anything.
Mordecai's like, yes, I'm not alone.
It's like, look. There are other things that I could do to prove, but I don't have a lot of resources to spend. And considering that Casimir has gone to the pit,
Oh, he's gone to the pit? Wait, how
Yes.
do you know Casimir?
Because I'm the professor.
I mean, you say
And I
that.
found him. Alright,
Okay,
so,
He says
Well,
that.
we'll
But
solve
I've
this.
run into some people who have claimed to know me before, and
I'm using detect thoughts on this thing. Is this really the
Sure.
professor?
Professor, what are you
Yeah.
thinking about right now?
Probably thinking about those things to do with Shadowheart and the other orange tiefling, as well as Casimir being in the pit.
Huh. Okay, so paranoid, 8 different simultaneous trains of thought, trying to figure out everybody's plans. So either this is the professor or it's a spectator.
Playing into it real well.
Are you going to attempt to probe deeper or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, I'll make the wisdom save. I'm not gonna pass.
Not gonna pass.
Yep, so you'd be able to see you would be able to see all of the you'd be able to see all the like all of his reasoning, the stuff that he went through over the past, over the night.
Yeah.
When he was talking to Mordecai before he went to sleep, the room with the books.
Yeah, actually, the main thing I'm interested in is your interaction with my body snatcher.
Yeah, no, you'd be able to see that too.
A flaming floof waves your point away dismissively. Yeah, get on with it.
So you'd also be able to see like how Cypher spotted Bright blowing up 2 guards and running away, and then him trying to stop her by paralyzing her, which didn't work.
Huh.
And you would feel all the reasoning through it, and then her banishing him.
Yeah, the banishing was a nice trick. You're lucky you didn't get sent back home.
That would have been a odd turn of events.
Sure would have. That's why I bring that spell with me, just so I can use it to send people home. So, okay, well, good to know that it doesn't work now that you've been transformed. Okay, so, at least I'm convinced now. And, yeah, so that whole, boiling someone from the inside out, I don't know how to do that, but it's pretty cool. I should learn it. Maybe my body snatcher will teach it to me. So, that was fun. But, yeah, we gotta find her. I'd really like to have my body and or books back. And all my other stuff, too. I mean, Herbert is with her.
Now, Bright, whether or not you want to share any of this, a lot of time has passed, and you have become really the default leader of most of the city, especially the residential area. Although, for a while there, the merchants were seemingly falling in line with an opposition force that was some kind of this, like a silver dragon beast that has been stalking around. But has been gone for a little while now, fortunately, so people aren't living in terror. But you have a whole network of people that have been trying to, find things. They've brought you shiny rocks and other things that you might be interested in. Unfortunately, while there have been some sightings of your body as you've described it, there have not... No one's been able to really get her. She seems to be very slippery. She's a very greasy gnome and seems to get out. Now, what you can do, because you have been able to get access to these glimpses of things that she's, obtained and has been absconding with, go ahead and make an Arcana at advantage, as you have been trying to figure out what she's been up to with all of her heists.
26.
26. All right. Definitely building for some kind of a big spell. A lot of these are staple material components. She's been getting as much poop as she can find, especially like high-end poop from some rare creatures here. She's been, especially after that, she's been going after some different types of metals. She's been after... let me see if there's anything in particular that could be a fun little give without just saying it. Where are you? Almost there.
Professor or a spectator.
She's definitely been gathering up a lot of phosphorus and sulfur.
How interesting. So
some
she's
tallow,
making a big fire. Something very big and flammable.
powdered iron. Yes. Whatever this is, she's been. She's also been getting a lot of very high-end gems to just sort of. None of the gems themselves seem to be especially keyed, except the fact that these are really just more of like a prism or a focus of some variety to enhance the magic that's going on.
Yeah. So she's probably trying to, I mean, some kind of big fire, but I don't know what she's planning to blow up.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to blow up the whole city. Maybe she's trying to send an explosion out through the tower. Remember back home there was that whole tower? Maybe she's planning to send an explosion through that. Maybe she's planning to blow up the pit. I don't know that I really have a big problem with that, because the Pit Lord and I are starting to be kind of rivals a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll just
people
see
from
where
your
that goes.
neighborhood have been snatched up and taken to the pit and not heard from again. So
Yeah.
if you care about these people, then yeah, you're becoming rivals.
I mean, I don't, but I do care about the loss in the quantity of minions, for sure. So
That is an acceptable answer as well. Yes.
So okay, I guess I care about them. I pretend to
You care about what they can do for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying any of that out loud.
Sure. Yeah. This is a realization in the background, and then whatever hand, if you even have, well, you have a mage hand. Whatever mage hand you want to tip to him, you can. But I mean, you're perched in your box atop a little pile of gold and some shiny rocks. You have a vampiric tiefling and a spectator just kind of hanging out, discussing things in the middle of hell. So
Yeah.
Carry on.
That's how you know it's D&D.
Exactly.
So anyway, we've been doing a pretty good job keeping the Gribblers under control. We set
Yes.
up patrols and usually we've done some training, and some of the people are getting to be pretty good fighters, and most of them are immune to Gribbler goo, so that's nice. And so we've been fighting most of them off, and sometimes I'll chip in and come out and throw some magic around, and whenever there's too many Gribblers. So we're doing pretty good, but we still haven't tracked down the source of the Gribblers, and it's probably, I don't know, could be coming from the pit. We still haven't figured that part out, but at least we're keeping people safe.
How long have you been here?
Boy, it's been so long, I don't even remember. How long have I been here?
I don't know. Everything just seems to be in a continuity. There's not really been... I mean, things have happened, but nothing feels especially ancient or distant. Everything just always seems as it is. You're working, you've accomplished goals. There's a chain of events that you can reflect on, but it's maybe a couple days. But then again, you're like, well, I don't know. We did rebuild that block. That probably took more than a couple days.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, because without days and nights, and without me having to sleep anymore, you just kind of lose track.
I've lost track of a lot more than that.
What do you mean?
Oh, Mordecai's just going crazy. Don't mind him.
Oh, is he? Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
He thought he saw his dead wife.
I
Oh.
did see her.
In hell? Why would she be in hell?
That was going to be the question that I asked him.
That's the question I asked her.
So, what did she say?
All she did was go on about how she missed me and how much she wanted me to be with her, and before I knew it, I lost track of time, and I ended up in the circus outside of town.
Huh.
But it's like as if I just popped into that place. I don't know really what happened before that. It's a blur.
Oh.
Do you ever get that feeling in your bone when the weather is changing?
I feel it with my eyes closed.
I sometimes feel it in my hips.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting that feeling.
It's disconcerting to be missing that much.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that that's happened. What's the last thing you remember?
Walking out of the hotel with her, and then next thing I know, I popped up in the middle of a performance in that circus.
Huh. Well, maybe somebody put the whammy on you.
You didn't put the whammy on me, did you?
No, of course not. I was imprisoned in a pocket dimension for thousands of years, so I didn't have time. I mean, I had thousands of years, so I did have time, but I was in the wrong place.
Well,
right, why do I have Celine's things?
Well, why wouldn't you? She gave them to you.
As you're speaking, and you can continue to at this point, there are suddenly 20 streams of pink magic that are roiling up from someplace distant in the middle of Oiho. And as these ribbons of magic streak up into the sky, they all latch on to some of these fireballs that have been intermittently streaking across, as they have done. Okay, continue talking.
That's not right. She didn't give them to me.
Yeah. So, hang on. I think we should look outside. Something's going on. Looks like my body snatcher's, blowing up the city. So we should probably pay attention to that. Let's.
wait, what?
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn my 5 eyes to look out the window. Oh. Oh yes, there is most definitely something going on in the city right now. Look, we should probably do something about this.
Yeah. So, where are the pinks coming from? And they're grabbing onto the fireballs and they're just like aiming them somewhere? Are they aiming them here?
It looks like the fireballs are incoming. And they're actually growing larger. And as they do, these aren't just normal fireballs. These are not normal fireballs. As they were probably way too distant. But, you know, just a casual observer, you're like, oh, so that's normal. Except they were really far away. And they seem to be getting bigger. And you're noticing that they aren't just fireballs. They are clumps of flaming rocks.
They're meteors!
So it's a,
Oh god!
it's a meteor storm. Well, that's fun. I guess my body snatchers got some magic power, so that's good to know. So are they falling on the city? Or are they falling on us?
They are following the pink ribbons.
Oh, so they seem to be actually guided by the pink ribbons.
Yep.
Okay, so where are the pink ribbons going?
Down into the middle of the city.
Where the pit is.
Presumably.
How interesting. Okay,
Oh, your body snatch is gonna bomb the pit into oblivion with
yeah.
meteors.
Looks like my body snatcher's blowing up the pit, which isn't really all bad unless Jaden is in there, or Ms. Mercury is in there.
Could I have one of you make an Arcana at advantage, please?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, you have a better Arcana than me, so go ahead.
I have a
27.
+11 on Arcana.
27.
Oh.
Whoa,
Okay.
you have plus 11? Wow.
Do you want a bardic inspiration at all, or?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's fire, right?
And I'll offer. I mean, I could offer teamwork for advantage.
I already had advantage.
Yeah, it's already at advantage.
Oh, okay.
What is it, a D8 for you?
I think it's
D10.
Ooh. So that boosts it up to 34.
Okay. You have a +1 floating. You want to use it?
Go to 35? You
Yeah.
betcha.
All right. Let me click that off. All right. Well, it would seem that your hunch was correct, Bright. Your you was collecting a lot of high-end magical ingredients, and a lot of them do have to deal with fire. Now, in this instance, you are identifying that these are spells. These are fire spells. These are spells of fire and rock, and we might call them a meteor. Now, contained within these are several meteors, and so that is going to end up being a meteor swarm. More specifically, this is a meteor swarm. This is a meteor swarm. This is a meteor swarm. And this is also a meteor swarm. With your 35 and extrapolating it, there are 20 meteor swarms, plural, that are being caught and out of the sky and drug focus down into the middle of the city. You are on the outskirts of town. There's a reasonable presumption that you can escape if something happens. There's also something reasonable that the meteors aren't going to be hitting you specifically, unless something happens that breaks these magical tethers.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to break those magical tethers.
Yeah, but then
And before you do that, if you decide to do that, you should probably tell Mordecai to put up a tiny hut because it's indestructible.
I was thinking I might do that with the Wall of Force, but sure, we got lots of choices.
tiny hut is cheaper.
That's true, and also it lets me concentrate on the meteors. Yeah. So, how long does it take to make a tiny hut?
I could either ritual cast it, or
No, we don't have time for that.
No, it's a 1-minute cast otherwise.
Might be Wall of
Do we
Force.
have?
Yeah, it looks like
we don't have 60 seconds.
looks like Wall of Force is the thing. Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to get a handle on is I know I get it. The thing I'm trying to get a handle on is whether they're like, are we actually in danger from these meteors where we are now if nothing else happens?
Medium danger at worst. Not direct danger, but this would be if the shockwaves has a building fall on you, the danger's from the building, not the meteors.
Gotcha.
Moderate indirect danger.
Okay. Mordecai, can you send a sending to? Well, so now is Watto? That's what I'm calling Mr. Warthog Man. Is Watto around where I can like tell him to get the word out that everybody needs to take cover?
Yeah, you can call for him.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna call for him and have him do that. Tell him everybody needs to take cover right now. Under the strongest thing you can get under.
Yeah, that'd be me, sweet sockets. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Look at the sky.
Yeah, like I said, there's not time. Go do it.
Ah! And he flaps his little wings furiously as this little 8-tusked warthog thing goes. Honey, close the shutters.
Okay.
Mordecai,
Professor, do you have a dispel? Can you dispel? I can't dispel. That was always the thing that Celine did.
I can dispel
can't.
magic.
Mordecai, would you be willing to try a dispel? See if you can break up some of those tethers.
That'll do it.
What's the range on Dispel?
That's a good question. We might not be
Like
able to
30
reach him.
feet.
120. 120 feet.
You'd have to fly up to an incoming meteor if you want to try that. No, you don't have to get in its path, but you'd have to be within 120 feet. And this is like halfway across a city from you right now.
So we don't have time, probably.
Mordecai.
If Mordecai
how much
wants to somehow, like, bat out of hell up towards one, I'll rule of cool it. If you want to try and prevent one from falling.
I have fly in my
Yeah.
violin.
Yeah, I can hit you with the fly too if you need it. I'm just worried that we won't have. I mean, then you won't be protected.
We won't have anywhere near enough time to do that.
Yeah.
With the rate that they're dropping, we don't have time to do that.
All right, let's get down to the ground floor. We have to get to the ground floor.
Yep. So as we're going, I'm gonna cast a minor illusion. I just need it. It'll either be minor illusion or prestidigitation. Probably minor illusion. I just need to check the specifics on the spell.
You better tell me quickly what's happening.
Yeah,
I got some sound effects to make.
So basically, it's gonna be a very, very loud warning.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I
Actually,
can do that with thaumaturgy.
yeah.
Okay, yep.
Thaumaturgy is great, and I'll chip in a major image because major image is super, super loud. That's the
Ooh,
loudest.
yeah.
That's the loudest one.
Whispered to the screen. Yeah, like this is gonna be like a citywide echo. Echo of basically emergency. It's we're basically doing an impromptu EAS activation, but there's no
Pretty
EAS
much.
down here.
Pretty much. But
And it's funny because I can actually make the American reference because I'm
Okay.
a nerd and know what that actually is.
sure. So, well, anyway, I'm gonna use a major image because it's really loud. Because I wanted to. Yeah, that's the same
Okay.
thing. I mean, none of them are loud enough to cause thunder damage.
You may have noticed a change
So-
in out.
Go ahead.
It's booming, but it's not
Yeah.
damaging.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that, and we're just, we all have to get down to the ground, and I'm gonna get my top people, Watto and his wife, because they've been so good to me, and my shoebox, and all of my anybody else who's trusted and has been good. We're all gonna get as close as we can together, and then we'll put up the wall. And I wish Casimir was here. Mordecai, could you maybe send out a sending for Casimir? I don't know if he'll even have time, but I don't want him to get smushed by meteors.
Yeah, I'll cast sending to Casimir, telling him if you haven't already, get down as low as you can. Take cover. I'm sure he's seen the fireballs in the air.
Yeah, low as you can isn't necessarily right, because low as you can is where they're going.
Well, like basement level kind of
Yeah,
house
okay.
stuff.
Cover.
So
5,
here we all are.
4,
Yep.
3,
Okay, wall of force is going up. Everybody
2,
who's here,
wall of force.
it's in the wall of force.
You've gathered as people are running. They're incoming, taking cover. I don't know. Do you want the soup pot on your head, Bright? Last call.
No, I don't really need the soup pot.
Okay. And
Just the wall of force.
there's a moment of quiet as 20 of these meteor swarms are sucked down into this tethered depth of the city. The ground begins to rumble and shake. You feel percussions. The city streets almost like bulge up with the force of the impact and the explosions. The buildings strain, some parts of them crumble. Demons scream out of all of their orifices. And all of them, yes.
Oh my.
Yeah. Enjoy that. And the ground stops shaking. things, besides the occasional brick falling and tumbling, are... well, they're kind of quiet. Then a lot of demons start, those that can fly, take to the skies. They start rummaging through buildings. The inner part of the city here completely is inverted down into a cone that just slopes further and further down. There's screams of horror, terror, and loss as Oiho has been shook to, quite literally, its foundation. But also, too, perhaps as you suspected, might be exposing this pit, this canker in the city that has been so harsh on so many, and might even be or have been where your friends ended up. Casimir for sure. Professor, you heard him invoke the name, and an agent had come. That being said, Mordecai, and I don't think this was necessarily shared, but you also heard that Mordecai, or not Mordecai, that a creature had actually dispatched one of the snatchers for Abby in the pit. But all sorts of activity is going on. The city is even... it's not just an ambient smoke. These plumes are a lot heavier. And what would you like to do?
I'm going to cast Sending at Casimir. Are you okay?
No reply.
Could you tell if he was okay?
Did it land, or was it blocked?
It didn't reach Casimir.
Now we've distinguished the differences between didn't reach, couldn't find a target.
It couldn't find a target.
As if it was blocked or he's dead.
Oh boy.
Those are possible options, yes.
Okay.
But at least they're
Yeah,
options plural.
He did say he was going inside the pit. So he could either be dead or they have some anti-sending magic.
The pit might even be on a whole other plane of existence. We don't even know. We never made it there. We were on our way and we all got derailed. But
Brighter Professor, give me another Arcana at advantage.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll let Brad do that.
Okay. Oh no.
Okay.
Well, 14.
Those seem like viable options.
Okay. So the blast is over. There's no imminent danger of death from falling rocks and buildings.
Correct. It's just if you're walking to the center of the city, the whole city begins down into an incline.
And
Into
it
the
always
blast
kinda
area.
did, you know,
And
okay.
when we look down this less steep pit, what do we see at the bottom?
Are you walking to the edge?
I'm gonna walk the edge.
Okay.
I'm
Mordecai's
not
going.
walking anywhere.
Well, would you like to hover?
But I'll float along with Mordecai.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll also float along.
You walk through the city, observing the damage, the panic, the opportune moments that people are taking, either at the expense of other people or, you see two just really just sort of like flesh-torn people, but this is kind of their normal look, so it's not meteor damage. But they seem to be embracing each other and checking to see if they're all right. and you walk down through the streets, down the steps, down this way, even further down and down. Not necessarily that there's steps per se, but you can look down further as the lava flows disrupted, and there is a... What's that?
And there's chunks of flaming rock everywhere?
Oh, well, there is, yeah, I mean, there is molten rock, there's lava that's spilling where it ought not be spilled, things along those lines that you're seeing. Let me get bright on the map. There we go. And ahead of you all, like some sort of a revealed path, is the following.
Huh.
As it descends down into the core of the city, cutting through all the layers, cutting through the slow spiral the city takes. The meteors have blasted away. Has blasted away through. And here, along this path to this inner place, instead of giants producing lava, you find similar, still grotesque skeletons of dragons.
That's not ominous at all.
The giants, their corpses, but still bound to posts. The dragons here almost bound or melded into this place, as they continue to leak through their faces, adding to the substance of wherever this is.
This looks bad.
Well, not necessarily.
You don't think this looks ominous?
Oh, it looks ominous, sure, but not necessarily bad. I mean, did we see any of the like as we made our way along? Did we see, like, I was expecting a lot more wreckage, like bodies everywhere, blood and gore, and then the meteors hit.
Well, there is, there's the normal sites. There wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of structural damage and people were caught in it, yes. But a lot of the damage seemed to have been more like explosive molding or just blasting away the structure. Not necessarily trying to go for any kind of wide range. These could have been spread out across the city and probably would have leveled it. These were focused in one place and had blasted through all of these other layers that you presumably would have had to have descend down in order to reach the pit.
Okay.
It's quick.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the pit was doing, I mean, they're not doing it now. That's kind of what I was getting at, is, like, did we see, like, pit collectors or refugee fighters or anybody like that on the way, or wreckage of the pit, or is
there
it
is
just completely erased?
There's a white-hot molten structure ahead of you, though you see no bodies along the path.
Okay. So what we probably are seeing then is the pit in its truest form. So maybe it survived the blast, or maybe it was transformed, We should all be on our. We should all keep our eyes out in case my body snatcher appears.
It would appear, yeah, that any of the extraneous rock was blown away, as this should have been some kind of a tunnel. However, it's now exposed to the sky because of all of the percussive maintenance done on the tunnels by you, really, Bright, in a sense.
Well, I mean, when I cast Mold Earth, I usually just do it 5 cubic feet at a time.
Yeah, this is on a whole nother level. This is meteor swarm after meteor swarm, and that requires a powerful wizard, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, a lot stronger than me, fortunately.
One of the most, if not the most.
Like a god?
Well, I mean, for most of the time, unless you have like a really special magical artifact, you can only cast one spell like that a day. And then there were just 20 of them all at once. So, yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
God tier.
Yeah, and I can't cast that spell at all. And so, yeah, that's, yeah. Of course, she also had to prepare for it. It wasn't like she just busted it out, you know? She prepared a ritual and got all the components and everything. So, probably kind of a special purpose. Probably won't be able to just repeat that. So, yeah. So, anyway, yeah. That's what we're looking at.
Okay. That's frightening. You've always been a little bit frightening, right? Let's just be honest here.
I mean, but look how cute I am.
I like...
I mean, just look. Floops everywhere.
I liked it when you had a face.
Yeah, I kind of miss my face too. Well, if we can find my body snatcher, maybe we can put things right.
Yeah, let's get that face.
We gotta find it
and let's
first.
Get the hell out of here.
Well,
And find Casimir before we do so.
yeah. My guess is we're gonna find Casimir either in here or not at all.
Only one way to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
You moving forward?
Yeah,
Hesitantly,
that's all we can do.
shakingly, but yes.
Mordecai, you, for just a quick second, one of the dragons maybe shifted or gave a little shudder. You look again, but it seems to just be there, kind of.
Heat mirage.
Yeah, just a trick of the eye.
Don't you move. I keep my eye on it as I'm walking by.
I presume the professor wants to keep several eyes on him, too.
Yes, I have multiple eyes upon which I will keep on things.
Okay. And Bright, as you are walking down this path before we conclude for the evening, I would like you to make a, I'd like you to make a nature check at advantage.
16.
16? It's difficult to identify now, but it would seem that from some of the skeletal structures, the basics of them that you can see, that these are different types of dragons. You're trying to recall from when you were in the dragon graveyard, and they had a little museum there. Oh, if only they knew about this place, because this absolutely is a valley that is, in a sense, a dragon graveyard as well. And we are going to conclude here.
Just as a final aside, hey Mordecai, what's your passive perception?
Oh, what is it now?
489.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
Close enough, 27.
Okay. Because I am catching up to you in Looky Boy. I am currently... So, with the flossing, I'm at a 17, but because I have constant advantage on perception checks, I'm at a 22. As you add +5 to a passive for advantage.
Yeah, if my wisdom goes up, oh lordy. Oh lordy, he eyeballs.
Yep.
Eyeballs everywhere.
Eyeballs everywhere.
And
This man's paranoid.
All the eyeballs, all the time. I see
Being able to
everything.
see every little twitch of everything is going to make him paranoid.
Well,
As if
see,
he already wasn't.
It's kind of hard to make the professor paranoid on such that he's just so goddamn curious about everything.
What I'm gonna do...
He's so goddamn curious, it's like, oh, it twitched, okay. Everything is twitching.
I am going to take us over in a raid because I'm going to have to get up and decompress. If you as the crew need if you want to talk for a couple minutes afterwards, that's fine. But for the audience and everyone riding along, I'm going to raid Own Dog Games, who's currently playing WWE 2K19. He can talk D&D a ton. Awesome dude, fellow Ohioan even. He even does like a little roleplay league through his wrestling, so it's not just wrestling for the sake of it. Really awesome person, so let's go give him a raid. I want to thank all of you who were here for our game. I hope that you enjoyed it, that it was a good evening to spend with friends, as I'd like to think that we're friends here. And we'll see how, when and how, where, why, yes, everything is going to happen on this coming week. As the stakes have just been raised, and we have 3 monsters walking down a fiery path amid the burnt corpses of dragons towards a place that has even taken over hell itself. We'll find out what's inside. So I'll see you over at I'll see you over at Own Dogs, and I'll be around on Discord as well. Bye everyone.
Crowd's not even watching, they can't be bothered to turn around. So keep an eye on the ref in the ring.